Welcome to the Emir Sirdam Show, where the veils are lifted, chains are questioned, and silence is broken. This is where street wisdom meets sacred knowledge, where rebels find reasons and thinkers find fire. As you all know, I'm not here to entertain your comfort. I'm here to disturb the usual. From hidden histories to power plays, ancient truths to modern madness. We don't play safe here. We play it real. And I'm Emir Sirdam, and this is the sound of the awakening. It's good to be back again here, right in front of the cameras, talking to Nigerians, to Africans, to the world in general, raising the consciousness of politics. As one of my friends will always say, if you do not involve in politics, politics will happen to you. And that is why we're here today again to talk about the most important things that affect us as a people, as humans. This is the reason why we are the Emir Sirdam Show. On today's topic of Emir Sirdam Show, I'll be talking about various things that I think are very important to us as Nigerians, most especially because this is when I am always particular about my country, home country, Nigeria, because for me, I always say this to people that the hope of over 50 nations, the hope of the black world lies in the awakening of Nigeria for a reason. For every 10 black people you meet across the world, probably 5 or 6 of them will be Nigerians. We have a huge population. We are dominating in every affair around the world. But unfortunately, home has refused to be fixed. And I have been talking to so many Nigerians in the course of my conversations. I've heard people complain and say that it's a system problem. Some people were like, let's go back to regional government. Some people were like, Nigeria can never work. You get to hear all kinds of arguments across the aisle. Unfortunately, these are arguments that are being empowered by failed governance over the time. So we have had the military, we have had the democracy, we had the First Republic, we're in the Second Republic, we have had democracy. We have seen all kinds of government, probably except a monarchy, which is probably what we're heading towards if we do not nip it in the bud immediately. A monarchy disguised as democracy is probably what we're heading towards right now. And that is why I'm here today on the Emir Sirdam Show to talk about the issues that bedevil us as a people, as a country. And because what bedevils us or is holding Nigeria back is exactly what is holding back Africa in general. Africans look up to us as the big brother. We have, growing up as a kid, we have always known that they call us the giants of Africa. But honestly speaking, as it stands right now, we are nothing but the ants of Africa because we are not showing or leading by example. We have leaders that all they think about is how they can siphon the wealth of the nation for themselves and their families. And so for decades, Nigerians have been living in abject poverty, and all Nigerians can do is cry and mourn. So we can keep talking about the problems of the country, or we can choose as a people to stand up and say enough is enough. Let's fix home. And that is why I'm here today on the Emir Sirdam Show to talk about the topic that I'm very peculiar about and very intentional about. You know, I've seen a whole lot of people talk about Bola Ahmed Tinubu consolidating his office as the current president of the nation. And 2 years into his tenure, he's already campaigning for the next elections with nothing to show for it. It's very unusual for any government to 2 years to go, you're already in campaign mode. You're already coercing or liaising or bringing in all politicians from other parties to come and all come into your party. You're almost silencing the voice of Nigerians. Nigerians don't have a say in their own country today. All our political class are all running into one camp, and they're all singing, "On your mandate we shall stand." But I'm here today to tell Nigerians, every well-meaning Nigerian out there listening to me, why Nigeria can never work, why Nigeria will never work with Bola Ahmed Tinubu in power. I'm borrowing the words of his famous spokesperson, Daniel Bola. Give Tinubu 30 years, Nigeria will not work. And in the same voice of Daniel Bola, the moment you join APC, something gets screwed out of your brain and you lose touch with reality. And that's where he has found himself today, and many Nigerians have found themselves. I'm going to try to amplify and list a bit of stuff that I think I can say are reasons why I believe that Nigeria can never work under a Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. I tell people around me that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a good politician, but politics is different from governance. You can be good at politics and be woeful at governance. That's exactly what Bola Ahmed Tinubu represents. And these two are not meant to be parallel. They are meant to be together. So a good politician that understands governance will make a great leader. What we have with Bola Ahmed Tinubu is someone that understands the side of Nigerian politics, but doesn't understand what governance is all about. So for him, politics is all about getting power, augmenting power, consolidating on power, having powerful people around you, controlling the political structures across the nation just to consolidate on power. But in reality, politics is meant to be about impacting the lives of the people that you have chosen to govern. We don't get that with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And so in 2 years of his administration, I intentionally did not host my last podcast. I wanted the May 29th to come and the whole Burara to end so I can have this conversation to Nigerians to understand that 2 years, this is meant to be actually the best part of his government because he's already in campaign mode. And in 2 years, Nigerians can visibly feel the renewed hardship that has been mounted upon the people by Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his administration. I tell people the way it starts the administration is exactly the way people should judge you and exactly the way your administration will run to the very end. Bola Ahmed Tinubu came into as president, and for once he has not spoken or raised any issue about the number one problem bedeviling Nigeria's nation, which is corruption. So if you are coming in to lead the country called Nigeria and your focus is not on curbing corruption, on stopping corruption, on making sure corruption is not viable, is not attainable, corruption is not something Nigerians are looking forward to. If that is not your agenda as a leader, you're already failing on your mandate. But what we get to see with Bola Ahmed Tinubu is that and his government is that corruption has made a home under APC today. There is in the past 2 years, the two major bodies that were instituted to tackle corruption in the country, the ICPC and the EFCC, one of them is almost moribund. I have never heard, I don't even know who the ICPC chairman is. In these 2 years, I have never heard anything done by that government agency. And if you go check, billions are being invested there. And the EFCC in the past 2 years, what have they turned out to be? EFCC have turned out to be an institution that goes after young Nigerians, they call them the Yahoo boys, and people that spray money on their weddings and their burials. EFCC actually have turned themselves, the organization that is meant to check financial crimes in the country, and now going after young Nigerians and people that spray money in the country. That is how much Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reduced the work of EFCC. Today, no corrupt politician is scared. When they came in, there was all this buhara of, Yahya Bello of Kogi State, all those noise, and the EFCC chairman came out and said, if I don't arrest, I'm going to resign. 2 years into their tenure, EFCC chairman is still working, Yahya Bello is still free, walking around Nigeria. No accountability. All the people that have one case of fraud or the other are all feeling free. All the past governors, past ministers, look at the humongous scam that went on during the past administration of Buhari. Should we go about the scam at the aviation sector with Hadi Risariki, the Nigerian air scam? Can we point out to all the scams that went through Buhari's tenure? And none of these people are being called by the FCC. No one is being investigated as far as we know in the media. No one is being prosecuted in the past 2 years. So corruption has had a field day under the Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. Nobody has been brought to book. Nobody has been prosecuted. All the prosecution are all these little Yahoo boys and people that do not even contribute to the problems of the country. That probably, yes, they contribute, but in a very infinite, in a very small quantity. The major players, the major looters of our resources are all working free. Should we talk about Akpabio in the Senate? Akpabio in 2015 was being prosecuted, was being investigated for over 108 billion naira. And immediately he jumped ship to APC and boom, his case is gone. The Atiku Abubakar's vice presidential candidate, Okowa, the past governor of Delta State, was being prosecuted or investigated for how many trillions of naira? And boom, he has entered APC. His sins are forgiven. If you are corrupt and you have embezzled money in Nigeria, you are free to move under the APC. Just get into APC and all your sins are forgiven. All your loots are okay. That is the Nigeria of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. And with such a Nigeria, with such a leadership that do not care about the effects of corruption in the system, that Nigeria cannot work. It cannot work. Because all you can see right now is you hear them, oh, we have disbursed fund for NEL fund, student loan, disbursed fund for this, disbursed fund for that. They are disbursing funds every single place. You can see the political elites are all happy right now because you talk to a senator, you say, oh, this is the highest time I've had constituency project funds from Tinubu. Governors are celebrating that Tinubu is sending them more money than ever. Money is being shared right now. You have to give it and say, yes, Tinubu is releasing money right now. But all this money ends in the pocket of and the covers of this political class. And they steal this money knowing fully well that the EFCC and every organization that's meant to checkmate corruption are all silent. They will not prosecute them. That is the Nigeria APC have brought to us right now, ladies and gentlemen. And so you can understand when I say with the current administration and the way they are going right now, Nigeria can never work with this set of people in power. I can only stay on the I can stay on the corrupt aspect, and I can stay and speak for hours talking about how bad corruption is in Nigeria. There are no checks and balances. You hear people, his supporters say, "Oh, he has given autonomy to the local government." And I say, no matter the autonomy you create, no matter the amount of work no matter the amount of goodwill you have as a president in Nigeria, if you don't put in systems in place to checkmate corruption, you are not going anywhere. Because corruption is the bedrock of our system. You have corruption every single place, down to the civil service. And if your government is not interested in tackling corruption in the country, you are already doomed to fail. And that is on that I stand on saying, Tinubu, no matter if I give him 30 years, as Daniel Bola will say, he's bound and doomed to fail. You can see all those around him, starting from himself. Does he look like an individual that's ready to fight corruption? No. If we do not tackle the most important problem Nigeria have, or I say top 3 most important problems we have, I think corruption, insecurity, and the collapsing economy are one of our major, these are, I think, our 3 major problems. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu has failed in every single one of them. Let's run into insecurity. Nigerians are unsafe today than they were 3 years ago. All our highways are death traps. You cannot travel from a state to another state if you are not working with probably police escorts or something. What is the guarantee? All this happening under Bola Ahmed Tinubu. As we're speaking, kidnappers are ravaging across the country. Killer headsmen are scattering Nigerians from the north to the south, to the east and to the west, every part of the country. And he is cut from our reality. Why? Because Bola Ahmed Tinubu has taken sides already. He has taken sides with the political class. That is why he is gathering every single one of them to his tent. And so for me, this is the reason why I'm standing here today, is that Nigeria can never work with the Bola Ahmed Tinubu government. Let me quickly run to the budget of scam that they brought out. He called the budget of renewed hope. In the budget of scam, look at the budget these guys presented in 2025 budget. And on this platform today, I'm going to take out my time and read. I'm going to read probably a lineup a friend of mine did. A friend of mine made a lineup, and he made a tweet, a very, very powerful tweet on what you can do as a country with some of the amounts these guys have budgeted. I want Nigerians, because I want this to be on writing. I want this to be out there, because many Nigerians don't understand figures. We have been so abused by figures, and Nigerians do not even understand how important figures are. When you hear some amount, you'll be like, no be just this, no be just that. But today I'm going to break down this for many Nigerians to understand. In the last budget, these guys budgeted. Let me just read some of the ambiguous things that I read that these guys put in that budget. It is criminal for Nigerians to hear. How can you be budgeting for one borehole over 360 million naira for a borehole? For one borehole. How can you be budgeting close to 260 million for one street light? And you guys budgeted this in the last year. It was in the budget for last year. Last year it was lower than this year. This year you guys increased the same boreholes you guys built, claimed you were going to budget. You budgeted all those millions for last year. You did not do it. You now came to this year's budget and put in that same a higher amount. And last year, I'm going to say this because Nigerians have been so docile. Nigerians were part of the problems. We hear these things and we never act on them. Last year, when the budget was padded to the tune that it was padded, a senator came out and he was screaming, Senator Nengi. And what happened? Apabio suspended him. Nigerians never did anything. And this year, they have padded the budget. Senator Nengi is quiet. Because why should he even fight? He's in a house of thieves. And he's trying to form the holy saint in the house. And everybody, and the people that he's actually informing are not doing anything with the information they're getting. So, why should he talk now? And that's when Nigerians always come out and say, oh, all the opposition senators are the same. They never come out and talk. What did you do when one came out to speak? Did you even make noise about it? Nigeria is the only country where they hear that their money is being stolen and they act as if there's nothing. Now, small thing, Jerry. Let them continue stealing. Look at the major project these guys commissioned. A project that is 760 kilometers. 760 kilometers. You went and lied. You even lied that you commissioned 30 kilometers. Actually, he was over up to 30 kilometers he commissioned. Patch road. 2 years. So taking the pace of in 2 years you're commissioning say 30 kilometers, which is just 4% of the project. How many years will it take you, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to construct 760 kilometers? Maybe you have to have 2 lifetimes. You have to live to maybe 180 years to be able to construct that road to its completion. Because we know you guys, it will never finish. And you went on and you held a parade, held a concert, held the party to celebrate 4% of a project. The giants of Africa. In 2 years, not one company you're going to say you've attracted to Nigeria. Not one foreign company that you can point and say, oh, we brought this. Instead, companies are leaving the country in droves. You have not improved the electricity. In 2 years, you gave us, you added 2,000 megawatts, according to you guys. But we already know that in the past 2 years, I've never seen the amount of times our power grid have crashed, like have crashed in the past 2 years, under you guys. 2 years of power grid crashing. Instead, you now took yourself out of the national grid and you're not going to spend about how many billion? Is it in dollars? Is that $10 billion? Or the 10 billion naira? I don't even know which of the billion is naira in dollars. So I don't even get fact checked. On powering solar system only for Aso Rock. Other Nigerians can go and live in darkness. The amount of wastage in this government. So for me, I say this. I'm saying this for many Nigerians to understand. At the top of my head, I cannot count 10 ministers in Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration that I can say I haven't tried. If I say I'm trying, that's I'm trying to put their face out there. I can count maybe 3 or 4. The ones that are making noise with propaganda and the rest, the Wikis of the world, the Umais of the world, I think the Ojo guy that just did only passport and the rest. Boom, I've not heard anything about him again. Who again? Probably Atiku Bagudu, the one that was laundering money for Abacha. That's the only reason why I can still remember him. I don't even know any other person to call. You can ask your APC friend how many ministers they can call from Tinubu's administration at the top of their head. And with that, you can bring your inference to understand that many of these guys in these ministries are not even meant to be there in the first place because they are doing nothing. All they're doing is just to collect money. And Tinubu's using them. Oh, this guy is from our side. This guy is from my side. Using this as he's playing the chess of politics whereby, oh, this minister are from my village, so his village people will vote for him. Not interested in what the guy is doing as a minister. So why should you have over 50-something ministers and all Nigerians can remember maybe 4 or 5? That shows the remaining 40-something of them are useless. Tinubu does not understand what it means to cut the cost of governance for a government that complains that we are broke, we have no money. You took away the subsidy from Nigerians for Nigerians to be suffering. You took away the subsidy and you increased the size of the government. Any sensible government will reduce the size of the government, cut the cost of governance, and allocate these funds to other things that truly matters, but not Bola Ahmed Tinubu government. And so for me, I hope I can convince you, I have not confused you, that if you give Bola Ahmed Tinubu 100 years, it will be 100 years of suffering in Nigeria. This man has no headway fixing the problems that are bedeviling this country. He has no headway. All he understands is politics, 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 politics. But let me jump real quick to do these numbers because I think this is very, very important. Important for Nigerians to understand. Important for Nigerians to see what their money can be used to do if spent judiciously. And so that you can also bury that lie that they always tell you guys, no, 2 years is too short. No, I'm going to name for you projects today on the Emir Sirdam Show. And big shout out to my brother and friend. I got this on his handle on X. He goes by the name Greatest 007 Goat. And he made this post. And I saw the post and I was like, no, This is a post that every Nigerian has to see. So please, when you watch this video, don't keep it to yourself. Take this video out to everyone there you can see. Every Nigerian needs to hear this. And I'm going to read verbatim his tweets. Although I might have to paraphrase some places, right? Okay, he said, budget NG uncovered 11,122 projects worth $4.3 billion that were inserted by the National Assembly into the 2025 budget. I believe Nigerians see these figures but do not fully grasp how 4.33 billion could massively improve their lives if judiciously spent. In other words, let me break this down for those that don't understand. That the budget of 2025, the National Assembly inserted 11,122 projects that will amount to $4.33 billion into that budget, into Tinubu's budget. National Assembly added their own. So the National Assembly is padding the budget to the tune of $4.33 billion. Many Nigerians don't understand this money. When you say $4.33 billion, it's like, oh, a billion, just $1 billion. Huh? Let me break down to you guys what that amount can do for any country. And you, with your discretion, with your discernment as a Nigerian, tell me, when I list all these projects, if they are implemented and done, which can be done in any place, anywhere, including Nigeria, in the span of 1 to 2 years, if we will not feel the impact in Nigeria or not. Let's go on this ride. He said with $4.3 billion, you could pay off our IMF loan with almost $1 billion to spare. And he said these are 20 projects, $4.33 billion can give to Nigerians under the span of 2 years. 1. 36 general hospitals, 1 per state, at $13.33 million each. Total cost, $480 million. He cited an example for the doubting Thomases. He said the newly constructed Full Hill HC in Coventry cost about £3.3 million, which is about $4.1 million. Give Nigerians an equivalent of that and keep the change. So in UK, they built a hospital that's costing 4.19 million. I'm going to put the hospital up there for you guys to do your own research and check it out. This hospital cost $4.19 million. And he's saying that he's even adding $10 million to it and say, build a general hospital in the 36 states. And if you build a general hospital in the whole 36 states, all it's going to cost us is $480 million to get that done. 2, rehabilitate 400 primary health centers. That's across all the rural areas. The total cost is going to be $160 million. 3, launch 200 mobile health clinics for $80 million. 4, establish 1 local vaccine packaging and cold chain facility for $180 million. This guy is particular about healthcare, and I'm a victim of healthcare. I lost my dad to the bad healthcare system in the country, so I also would love to see a revamp and a change in the healthcare system. But in 2 years of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, nothing is going in the healthcare sector. Instead, our doctors are still running away, our nurses are still running away. There is no hospital that can treat Bola Ahmed Tinubu today in Nigeria, 2 years after. Let's go on. He said, build 150 model schools for $300 million. I will say, renovate the current schools in Nigeria, and maybe that will cost half of that money, $150 million. And you will take all our model schools in the country, at least 300 of them, to world-class standards with less than $150 million. But these guys are going to steal that money. They won't use it and do it. Bad governance. Let's go on real quick. He said, digitize 3,000 public schools with solar internet devices for $90 million. Train 60,000 teachers in STEM and digital skills for $50 million. Upgrade research labs in 6 federal universities, 1 for each geopolitical zone, for $60 million. That is $10 million per zone. Reconstruct 1,200 kilometers of rural urban roads for $360 million. Tinubu just built less than 30 kilometers in 2 years. So you know this is going to be a miracle, a landslide miracle for them to even do this. They can never do this. They can't even do this. But this is what it's going to cost to reconstruct 1,200 kilometers of rural urban roads. We cost about $360 million. These guys are spending trillions on a coastal road going to nowhere. Install 300 solar mini grids in rural communities for $120 million. National borehole and sanitization initiative for 120 communities for $150 million. Build 6 agro-industrial park for processing and job creation for $180 million. For context, Nigeria, I don't even know what our output on agriculture. We don't even export anything. But a country as small as Netherlands makes over 100 billion euros every year from agricultural exports. Netherlands, for context, is 3 times the size of Niger State is 3 times the size of Netherlands. Niger State. So Niger State can give, if agriculture is put in place, Niger State can give us 3 times what Netherlands is giving in agriculture. But no, Netherlands have bad weather. Netherlands depend on so many engineering constructs for them to even be able to farm. But Nigeria have the best of weather. But no, we have very dull leaders, dull brains. All they care about is stealing. They don't understand these things. And for them, it's a rocket science that can never happen. Let's go on real quick. Construct 150 regional food storage facilities for $100 million. Distribute mechanization equipment to 25,000 farmers for $50 million. Implement dry season irrigation scheme in 12 river basins for $100 million. Build 37 youths and creative hubs, 1 per state plus FCT for $150 million. 17. Disburse micro loans to 300,000 small businesses. Each recipient gets $2,000, focusing on women and youths. That is 3.2 million naira each. The equivalent, all together, that sums up $600 million. 18. Construct 72 vocational and trade centers, 2 per state. That sums up to $100 million. 19. Create a national emergency ambulance response network with 300 ambulances, GPS tracking, and dispatch centers, which will cost $100 million. Today in Nigeria, if you have an accident or you're in an emergency, if you don't have a car, there is no way you're going to survive. I dare say that 90% of the people that we lose in Nigeria every day will survive in other climes. But Nigeria continues to happen to our people because we have wicked and evil leaders in power. Hopefully we can begin to fix and change these things. And he said finally, the last 100 million can be used for a national giveaway. The National Assembly can keep 50%. That is $50 million. Each member of our legislative gets $100,000, approximately 170 million naira each. That is not bad for a year's work. Give the remaining 50 million to the people. My brothers and sisters, what I've read out here right now is what 4.33 billion US dollars can do in a country in the space of 1 to 2 years. All what I've listed here is what 4.33 billion US dollars can do for you. Meanwhile, this year's budget is about $39.9 billion. And next year, there will be another budget. And we will come here and ask ourselves, what did they do with last year's budget? Because what did they do with last year's budget actually? You cannot show anything for it. All they will show is road. Road. It's the only thing these guys can show you. Road. A student, they release money for student loan that have been stolen from the Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government. We are dealing with people that do not understand governance, that don't understand what it means to be productive, that don't understand what it means to be innovative. These are old school, archaic, archival men. All they are thinking about is consolidating power. That's what Tinubu is all about, consolidating power. He doesn't care about me and you. And I hope Nigerians wake up to this reality. And I would have loved to talk about what happened with the pastor of House of the Rock, Pastor Paul, but I'm going to bring on the pastor on the platform, hopefully one of our episodes, and we're going to sit down and talk more about it. I don't want, when I jump into the religious angle of this conversation, I want to have an opinion from a pastor so I can ask him questions, because for me, these are one of the people that have enabled bad governance in the country. Many Nigerians today are docile and are begging God for what God has given us power to do for ourselves. And God will never come down to do for us what he has empowered us to do for ourselves. God will not come down and put food in my mouth to eat. I have to eat. I have to work to eat. I have to cook to eat. I have to buy to eat. Can God make the process of me getting the things I need to eat easier? Yes, he can, I believe. But he will not come and put food in my mouth. God will not come and fix Nigeria for us. 90% of Nigeria prayer points today are all answered in the hands of the government. If we fix bad governance in Nigeria, 90% of our prayer points will be answered. And what does that mean? It means that majority of our churches and religious bodies will have to find another means of survival. When you come to the Western world, pastors are picking up shifts, are going to work. In Nigeria, pastoral is a full-time job. They live off the tithes and offerings of the people. And to some people that I've spoken with, they say they are actually the main SPVs for politicians. Why? Because nobody's going to check the account of the church. So politicians use them to launder money, their ill-gotten wealth. And that is why they will never stand up and speak against the government. That's why they will never encourage their members to be active in the politics of the country. They are part of our problems. And if our parents' generation have been bamboozled and have been deceived, our generation have to stand up and say enough is enough. We have to fix Nigeria in our lifetime. If Nigeria does not work for everybody, Nigeria should not work for anybody. It has to work for every one of us, not just for Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his gang of elites. The only people benefiting from Tinubu in the past 2 years are the elite class. And that's why you saw Akpabio singing and praising and worshiping him, his Lord and Master, while the normal day Nigerians are dying in numbers due to bad governance, due to insecurity, due to a hardened economy. Our reality is that to fix Nigeria, we have to fix bad governance. And I know many people will come out and say, oh, Saddam, how can we fix Nigeria? Tinubu is getting all the governors. Tinubu is getting all the politicians are coming to his side. How can we fix Nigeria? First, and I say this, I think I might have to wrap up my submission on this, that 2027 has to be the year Nigerians say enough is enough. And I'm putting this out for every Nigerian there. Please take this message out to everyone you can. You have to be a partaker in saving Nigeria. Nobody's coming to save us. Nobody's coming to help us. We as Nigerians have to stand up to our reality. We have to fix our country ourselves. So 2027 is meant to be a referendum on all the bad leaders. Let them all go to APC. I want all the governors, including OT if possible, go to APC. Let Nigerians stand up and say enough is enough. We have to stand up. We have to wake up. If Bola Ahmed Tinubu consolidates 2027, Nigerians should kiss democracy goodbye. If Bola Ahmed Tinubu consolidates 2027, by hook or by crook, Nigerians should kiss democracy goodbye. He has shown it in his past that he's not someone that knows how to play fair, or he's not even a Buhari that after his 8 years, he will leave and go. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is like a cancer. He spreads and occupies. So Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not going to finish his 8 years and go. He will finish his 8 years and even look for a third term. And who says with this kind of nonchalant, incompetent OES member serving Senate led by Pabio, they won't sign and give him a third term? What will you do as a Nigerian? What will you do? So it is important to understand this. And even if he says he's not going to do a third term, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going to make sure that the next president that comes after him is installed by himself to serve his selfish interests and cover up his tracks. We cannot continue like this. So it's important Nigerians understand the task at hand. Our future is at the precipice. We have to say enough is enough. And with that, I say thank you guys for listening to me today on the Emir Sirdam Show. It's good to be back after a short break, but I'm back again and hopefully we'll be back next week. Fingers crossed, I'll see if I can get you guys a guest. If not, we'll be back here also to talk about our country. And I have a special episode because I want will be asking Saddam, how then can we defeat Bola Ahmed Tinubu? On our next episode, I'll be coming out with a jam-packed modus operandi on how we are going to implement and make sure that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a one-term president. It is now left for Nigerians to adopt this strategy and take it and spread the gospel to the very ends of the nation. Because if every Nigerian gets to hear the strategy I'm going to put out there, I promise you it's a game changer. Nothing Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In fact, let all the governors, let everybody decamp and be with him. If we implement this strategy I'm going to throw out next week, I promise you it's going to be one that the elite class will say, our time is up. It's the time of the Nigerian people. Thank you so much for listening to me today. God bless every one of you. I see all our subscribers, all our likers, and also all our TikTokers, our Instagram people, our Facebook people, our X people, every one of you. I see your comments, your encouragement. It's always a pleasure doing this with you guys. Thank you so much for your love and your support. I love you guys until I see you guys next time. It's the Emir Sirdam Show. Good night and stay safe. God bless.